Okay. Okay, can't share the screen. Let me try again.
Madam, Pipit, madam, excuse me. Pipit is not visible, madam.
Okay, I'll just try again. I'll try. I'm trying again. Yes? Is it seen? Can you all see my PPT?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay.
No, madam.
Last time it was shown, but I don't know why this time is a problem. Anyhow, something went wrong. Okay. Okay, we'll try. No problem. There's some problem. I'm sharing, but it's not being shared properly. There's some problem. Okay, I'll just. Previously, it was shared properly. Now, again, there is a problem. Okay, what I will do is I will rejoin again. Okay, I will leave and I'll join again. Let me just see. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello.
Now there is a problem in the.
बोलो। हेलो।
Hello.
यस मैम।
Can you hear me?
यस मैम। यस मैम।
Oh, thank
Yes,
God.
ma'am.
Okay, okay. I was just going on with that. This is what the problem with this. Okay. Since you can hear me, you can see me. Let me just try with the screen. Yes.
यस मैम। सबसे पहले स्क्रीन को वो पीपीटी को ओपन करेंगे।
हाँ, वो तो कर लिए हैं।
या फिर उसके बाद में मैम जो मीटिंग है अपनी, इस पे शेयर का ऑप्शन आ रहा है, स्क्रीन शेयर। मेरे मोबाइल
हाँ
में भी
हाँ,
आ रहा है, मैंने यहाँ से कनेक्ट कर रखा है इसको।
वो प्रेजेंट नाउ है ना, तो
हाँ,
मुझे
पर इस पे कंटिन्यू करेंगे अपन।
हम्म सिर्फ पीपीटी नहीं
मैंने
दिख रहा है ना, सिर्फ पीपीटी नहीं दिख रहा है आप लोगों को।
पीपीटी नहीं दिख रहा है मैम अभी।
हाँ, उसी में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, नहीं तो
उसको सेलेक्ट करना होता है मैम, उसके ऊपर
आ
ऑप्शन
गया
आता है ना।
शायद,
हाँ,
है ना।
ऑप्शन आता है उसको।
हाँ हाँ हाँ, तो आ तो गया लेकिन
क्लिक
तो
करके शेयर कर दीजिएगा मैम, उसको शेयर का ऑप्शन आता
Yes, ma'am. It has come.
यस इट इज देयर, है ना।
Yes.
है। आ गए?
Yes,
यस
we
मैम।
can see. Yes, ma'am.
वाह, ऐसे ही हम लोग का लाइफ होता है, कभी ऊपर कभी नीचे, सो समटाइम्स वी
यस
डोंट नो।
मैम।
Okay, okay, thank you for all your
ओके।
patience. And yeah, sometimes I may ask whether it is seen or not. Okay, so now is it seen properly? Full screen आ गया? Is it seen?
यस मैम। यस मैम।
Oh, very good, very good. Thank you.
यस।
So we are in the day 2. This is a particular time which is meant for only us, for our development, for ourself. Just focus on yourself now. Maybe for a few minutes, we will be knowing what are the things which we can develop and we can achieve a peaceful life ahead. Right? So we have completed the transactional analysis where we have seen different type of ego states. है ना? So in ego states, we had child ego state, parental ego state, ego, adult ego state. Usually, Eric Berne used to say that if it is adult to adult ego state, then only it is fine. As teachers, you people may think, may see in parent teachers meeting also when parents come and say that why you have not given mark and all. So that is a parental and adult which could not take place. There was an example. Then we have come across life positions and basis of power where personal and professional powers as positional powers are there. Then we have come through the different leadership styles. So I think so you all have completed my task of leadership, which leadership you want to be in your institution and why. Right? Now, what is the effectiveness of leadership? Each and every teacher is a leader in the class. Now, if they are the role models, sometimes when we see in the universities, some students they want to go for English because they like the English teacher. Some people want to go for chemistry or physics because they like. And that is what the leadership stands for. You all are role models for each and every students who are your followers. So now what is the prime focus of a leadership is to get the work done. Suppose you are giving classwork, homework, and all are writing properly, then you are a perfect leader. Okay. So sometimes what we do is, even when I also teach or when I used to teach, what I used to do is, if they are not listening properly, I will just call them separately and I'll ask them what is the problem. And one of the best student who do all the things, I'll ask him to help him out. So sometimes we need to be role models in order to check properly our leadership style is proper or not. Right? So followers are not ready to implement the decision. They are never. They always put that leader into problem. But the leader has to be very much effective based on the circumstances and situation again. So we are acting depending on the circumstances, right? So a leader must utilize minimum resources to provide maximum output. So that is the technique how a leader can progress. So after leadership, we come to another topic called developing professional values and ethics. So sometimes we used to see that moral science are being taught in the classes. When I used to be there, I used to study moral science, and there were so many question, answer, and all this. But now, well, values and ethics of each and every profession is different. But every profession has professional values and professional ethics. Now, in this teaching as a profession also demands high ethical values and intellectual standards with moral values from the teachers. Now, we will be undergoing some of the topics where we can see what are the professional values of a teacher. Now, professional values and ethical practices are major things like we have to go for all these factors where dignity is there, dignity of a teacher, the truthfulness of a teacher, the fairness, the justice of a teacher. A student cannot say that that person, the teacher has given the same mark for other person, but for me it is less, even though we have mentioned the same topics. So there should be proper fairness, some responsibility and pluralism. I'll come back to pluralism later. So as far as ethical, we know what are the moral standards, ethical relationships in teaching professions, very, very important. As far as the colleagues are concerned, the parents are concerned, and the students are concerned, right? Now, first thing is dignity. Dignity, as you know, it has been derived from the word, Latin word dignitas, means what? Worthy. Now, everyone is worth in their lifestyle. So, when I deal with few students, those are very sad. The first thing that comes to their mind is, I am worthless. So, that is where the dignity comes down. Dignity means the worth and rights of someone or a position they deserve without any discrimination. It should not be that this teacher is so, that teacher is so. Every teacher has their own dignity in their position, whether they have higher or lower position. We should treat everyone with dignity. Well, there are some people who may ask, what is the difference between dignity and respect? Yes, there are differences. Dignity is from within, it is an inherent and absolute thing. Whereas respect is earned. We go to a position and we earn the respect. Okay? So it is the worth and rights of someone or a position they deserve. So even a small child also deserves respect. But again the circumstances. Nowadays we cannot scold the child, we cannot just raise voices and all. So again, dignity is a multi-level concept, and in school or organization, it can be seen in hierarchy level. This they say lower dignity, higher dignity, this and that, but respect is where which is found everywhere. One we can say is one is internal, one is external, right? Like one example again, talking of dignity. The teaching profession treats every teacher, students, and other stakeholders equally. A class consists of students from various and diverse backgrounds. Obviously, each family do not have same type of background or environment. They differ. And the students may differ from each other based on socio-economic status, language, knowledge level, and exposure. So what is the teacher's role here? The teacher should not discriminate against any student, treat them equally and allow them to speak up to present their views, irrespective of their diverse backgrounds. A person may be coming from a low socioeconomic or high or middle, that doesn't come into the picture when education is concerned. So everyone talks with dignity and respect. Truthfulness. That is one of the major concerns with teachers anyhow. It is a state of honesty and sincerity. Yes, the teachers are always honest as far as their concern is there to the students. So when you are in teaching profession, the truthfulness is a high priority virtue. Okay. So truthfulness is a virtue that compels an individual to abide by the facts that can be proven. If one person speaks a lie, so another will come. It will be piling up the lies one after the other. But if a person speaks the truth, that's it. We need to face the consequences of the truth. Now, for example, there have been many instances where documentation or commitment is just wrong. They just want to just enjoy the field. Some people say that profession is by choice, okay, or chance. So it depends upon how you take it. So truthfulness is very, very important as far as teacher is concerned, because each and every student depends on the teachers. The way they talk, the way they behave, the way they speak to others. You can just see when you're speaking to someone else, other students keep a watch on you. Okay, so they may not speak at that time. They will go home or they will speak with their friends about the teacher, what they concern to be. Now, here another example is there. So these examples are for you to think and analyze it. Suppose you as a teacher, you're teaching in a classroom and one of your students asks a question, but you do not know the answer to that question. What would you do? Being a truthful teacher, you can simply say that you are not aware. But what? Suppose I am very much angry and something happened in my family or something, some arguments took place. What I will say? You just keep quiet, sit down, you ask the question later. So there are different ways how we can deal with the students. Suppose one of your colleagues shares his medical condition with you and asks for your advice. So, as a truthful person, why the person has shared with you? Because he trusts you. And you have to keep the trust, whatever he has said. Usually, without the consent of the person, some personal matters cannot be leaked out, cannot be spoken to, cannot be shared with, which we usually use in our psychological background. So, here, if you are truth, you will be easily trusted, and if you are trusted, you will be able to help many people out. Right? Fairness. Fairness is also one of the virtue in this profession, and people feel that fairness is the right. Okay, and if you are fair enough and if you are justifying the things, obviously the student and your colleague and the management will be liking you a lot. So whatever the consequences is, I do the fairness. Like, suppose fairness also brings a good environment in the class or within an organization. Just think of a teacher who is looking in one side and he or she goes on teaching, and the other side is just looking why the teacher is not looking at us. That's not fairness. Okay. So, in the teaching profession, fairness becomes a necessity, and as a teacher, one has to be fair with your timing, your duty, your performance. Like when the teacher has to enter by 9, the teacher already is present before 9. So, what is the student learning? That yes, this is what our work is to be done. Your fair behavior increases your rapport with the students as well as your colleague. Now, if I tell you one example, you are in charge of the Viva examination, oral examination, and you ask questions to every student in the class. During the examination, know that a student lives nearby or is indirectly related to you. So, what will you be doing in this scenario? Are you going to give extra marks to the student because you know that student and you see him every day beside your house? Or maybe he or she is related to you? Never. So this cannot be treated in the teaching profession, and it's not never taught. So fairness is one of the factor which has to be a professional valued concept in the classroom and outside when you're talking to people. Even there will be parents who will come and say that why my child is not given that importance. What is the problem? So there is a big challenge for the teachers to teach as well as see the environment beside you. Right? Responsibility, yes, it is a big responsibility because today a teacher is training a child to be adult, and the adult becomes some responsible person in the society. So it is up to the teacher again what type of responsibility is being taught to the students. As a teacher, you complete your task within a given time and you must ensure that the same from the students as well. So usually what we say, practice before you know, perfectionism you cannot take. You just practice with yourself, then only you can demand from others, right? So another example, if you can see in responsibility, suppose you are a class teacher. Obviously, class teacher has a more responsibility than any other teachers. Uh, and you found out a student who is not attentive in your classroom for a few days. So what would you do? Just think of it. So it is more of analytical type with what I would like to bring in you. You might have multiple options. There are so many. Okay, if he is not interested, let him be like that. Or you can just ask, be attentive in my class. That can be done. Or may be punished why you are not attentive in the class. So it is up to the teacher again what type of options which the teacher can take, right? So as a responsible teacher, you should personally talk to the student. Nowadays, if you scream to the student in the public, if you talk to the student rudely in the class, there is much trauma for the student over there. If I tell you the real life incident, there was a student who is studying chemical engineering. Okay, it's a confidential, but I'll share the case with you. So the student comes and says, ma'am, when I was studying in ninth and 10th, I was bullied. So he cannot forget that bulliness. He was asked to sit in that middle where the boys other side and girls other side. Maybe something he has done for which he was punished, but he was not explained for his punishment. So it went on, it is still going on with the student. Now, as a responsible teacher, when the teacher punishes, he will be seeing that particular teacher in a different angle. So the student is growing day by day. Yearly basis, he is also growing. But the trauma he cannot forget. So it is our responsibility to see that not in the public, not in the class, we are not supposed to scold or be rude to them because it becomes a type of trauma with the student over there. We are there for few years, then the student goes out. So we should see that it's our responsibility again that the student is happily going out with good memories of the school as well as the student and the teachers, right? So responsibility comes through consistent and persistent efforts and remaining loyal to your duties. Now there is a small difference between responsible and being over responsible or rigid. Anything over is not good. So overthinking is not good, over responsibility of is not good, overconfidence is not good. So over responsibility may cause hypertension because if you go home also, you will be thinking of the responsibility that you have been given in the school. So it may turn up to a high pressure or hypertension or stress. There is a good chapter on stress where I'll be talking about it. So responsibility, whatever is given to you, that's it. If you try to do more than that, it will create a problem with you. Right? Now here comes pluralism. Now what is pluralism? Here in a class, different type of religion, diverse culture, and diverse language, different people come together to grow together, to flourish together, to learn together. So this type of section or this type of classes including all together all the sections of the society, is called pluralism, practicing pluralism. So it's quite natural that practicing pluralism in a class. Can you please mute yourself? Neto, I am getting as if someone is calling me. Okay. So it is a teacher's responsibility again in pluralistic classroom. It could be a classroom where different castes or religion or different socioeconomic status, different type of people comes together. That is what all together is told as pluralism. But how are you going to practice it in a class? So you are the policy maker. You are the person who makes policies, you know, like lesson plan you make, give classwork, homework, you make the students leader, monitor in the class, everything you do. So how you make it? So make policies that include everyone together. Everyone should be happy. Like ethics and moral education should be included in the curriculum also. When you teach about it, you should say that, yeah, this all we have to do it together. Professionally also, if without any conflicts, people should not say that why it is like this, why not that. Everything should be included. Then community participation is very much needed without any disturbance in the academic activities. Like in many colleges and in universities, clubs, chapters, communities are taken together. So another thing is respecting others. So when a student see a teacher talking to another teacher, how they are talking, what type of respect they develop among themselves has to be also taught to them. And reinforcement strategies. If someone is giving some good answers and all, yes, the reinforcement appreciation should be given. You know, promoting inclusion. Yes, this is how you have to say, or I ask everyone to speak like this. It is really good. It is positive. So you take everyone together. That is pluralism. Now, while teaching, there can be some examples given when you are teaching. Some examples where can be given where the student can relate to them without feeling marginalized, without feeling that they are left alone. While discussing sensitive societal issues, like offense, sometimes some offense may take place that this is how a student was like this. Never, because no students gets offended, but it becomes a big scenario later on. Try to use a common language. Yes, like if I use you know Tamil or Telugu or something which people will not understand, maybe one or two can, but when English is there as a common language, we should go with a common language where all the diverse categories of people can understand me. So nowadays, digital has come into the picture, and AI is playing a very big role nowadays. So even though you are using technology, it should be very much transparent and with clear version to the teaching learning process. Then some workshops, some workshop you can organize, you can participate like you're participating in this. Here we are just trying to learn. It is known to everyone, but this is our revision for all of us, that how we are going to promote ourselves. Well, if you say that, what is teachership? Okay, we may come to a common argument. Teachership is an art as well as a science. Now, if we practice pluralism within the classroom, is an art. And the way a teacher implements and inculcates pluralism within the student is a science. Science is always practical. We need to see that if we are implementing, how the students are taking us. So these are all the professional values which we have to take care of us. Then comes ethical practices. Every profession has ethics, especially teachership. When you go for ethical practices are very much needed because you are teaching the future citizens of the country. Like uh, it is a moral way of living. There are People where they should know what is right and what is wrong. Like a small child should know. The parents teach them, then the teachers teach them, right? So when you are seated in a classroom or when the student is in the examination hall, they are told that you should not copy. Okay, you should not bring a check paper. You should not turn your heads and all. So these are all very much ethical practices which are needed to be followed right from school. There are some moral dilemma. Yes, there are moral dilemmas which are needed to be rectified there and then. As a teacher, you can come across many circumstances like making decision or giving judgment, or there are some fights or arguments where you are needed to clarify and decide what is to be done. So I'll be giving you some examples again, right? Okay. So now it is with the teachers. You are sitting in a classroom and outside you hear two of your colleagues talking about the superior authority. Sometimes it happens, it's not that. So the conversation between your colleagues was not positive and even seemed like a conspiracy against your superior authorities. This is what you have overheard. Now what would you do? If you go and tell the authorities, you may get a promotion, is it? Maybe some people would like to do it, but your colleagues may lose their jobs. Okay. So moral dilemma is that you cannot let the conspiracy grow in your institution. At the same time, you also don't want your colleagues to get fired from their jobs because they are brilliant teachers, or maybe all teachers are good anyhow. So what would you do? This is a task which you can think of. Sometimes some examples will give you some task about it. So that is sometimes it may happen over there. So ethical relationship with the profession. Now we will come one by one about the ethical relationships and all. Professional ethics demand equilibrium between personal and professional life. That is what Strike and Soltis in 2009 they have given. They said that there should be one time frame, one work frame, the do's and don'ts should be there. So everything, the norms, regulations has to be followed in any profession. Now what about teaching profession? Teaching professionals are expected to project themselves as role models before their students. Again and again, you can see that we are the role models for our students. Our students' personality is based on us, is based on our personality. So, however, the teachers do not need to compromise their personal lives to do so. It doesn't mean that they have to be always perfect in front of the students and all. They have their own family, they have their own relationships, they have their own way of life also. Now it is an art how you as a teacher you take a balance between your personal life and a professional life. There have been so many workshops which are coming up. So we usually see that when we go back to home we forget about the professional life and come back to the personal life, or else we cannot live a life of our own. Neither our family can lead a life. So, like as a teaching professional, you should know your boundaries in a profession. To what extent you should get involved in a student's personal life and how much time you should give. So, I think so. There is an example again. You are a teacher in a senior secondary school or any level of the school. So you explained a chapter and instructed your students in the classroom on whatever it was needed. Or you gave some questions, like I am giving some questions to be done. So then one of your students called you at home late in the night to clear the doubts. Now it may look normal to answer the call one or two times, fine. But if it becomes a regular practice, what should you do? Would your professional ethics allow it? So here you can say that, okay, tomorrow I'm coming to the school, I will be taking care of the doubts, whatever you have. If it is very serious, okay, one call is fine. But Repeatedly, the practice should not be encouraged, right? That is what professionalism. Ethical relationship with learners. There are so many ethical relationships coming up with our own students. Your relationship with your learner, with your students, should define you as a teacher and your learner as a student. That is what the gap, the communication should be there. There should not be any other type of communication rather than a teacher and a student, guru and shishya. So, as a teaching professional, what will you do? You have to maintain an unbiased and prejudice free rapport with your student. Every student are allowed to come and speak to you. So, that approach you are giving, that accessibility you are giving, but they're always unbiased, right? So, all the learners are equal to you. So maybe some people, some students are disabled or slow learners. They cannot, maybe something happens in the family, they are unable to cope up. Yes, you can give them some extra effort based on the circumstances again. You could be friendly with your students, but not a friend. Yes. So this is what ethical relationship with learners has to take place. Now, what about colleagues? Yes, this is what major important among us. So, if in a colleagues, sometimes we find that we compare ourselves. So sometimes we become very childish. So as the child ego state says. So why? What? So many questions comes across. Now, a healthy relationship with colleagues can only be developed when we increase our productivity and stop the obstacles taking place. Okay. So, what type of rules will be helping us for a healthy and ethical relationship with your colleague? So, both of you are teaching in two different sections. You both of you are teaching English. So, you decide that this is the lesson which is to be taught, and then we will be given the question answers. But one of the teacher misinformed to the other person. So this is going beyond the ethical relationship of your colleagues. So do not provide misinformation about your own work. Trust your colleagues and be trustworthy. That is what I was telling before. Trust can only be done, gained only when you are fair in your work. Take the initiative to work. It's not that sometimes, when we ask the students to answer, they will just say, you do, you do, you do sometimes. But as teachers, if we take initiative, obviously the students will come up seeing us as a role model. Communicate effectively. Effective communication, yes, it helps you a lot. Corrupt practices should not be given importance among the colleagues. So it's okay, fine. The students like the other teacher, not me. I should not go for any other corrupt practices so that the students will come to me. No, never. So respect your colleague. Once you respect your colleague, you will get the same respect back. You may think no, but it goes on. It takes time for some time. So obey organizational rule book. Rule book is given for all the institutions, for all the teachers, for all the employees in the organizations and all. Give due credit to others' work. So when you give appreciation to others' work, one or the other day others will also appreciate you. So when you see the other person working so hard, rather than saying that, come on, you're working so hard, take rest, no need of doing all these things. So it's better to say that I'm really happy to get inspired by your work. So it is different when you speak in a different way. And be genuine, yes. Accept feelings and feedback. Listen to your colleagues. Now, sometimes we can listen to your colleagues also, thinking that what is the other colleague trying to help me out also. So now again an example comes up. You're sitting in the staff room and see one of your colleagues who seems upset and sad. On humanitarian grounds, you go to your colleague and ask about the cause of sadness. Usually, if we are very close to people around or we see on humanitarian ground, we ask, what happened? Can I help you out? Right? But the other colleague refuses to discuss the issue and does not want anyone to get involved. So, ethically, what will you do? It would be best to back off and not get personal or pry. Getting too personal at the workplace may showcase unprofessionalism. Why? Because if you are going to that person's personal life, it will be adding stress to you. So, whatever stress he or she has may also be a vibration which may attack you. This is what we psychologists say, there is mind vibration. And if we are going and helping when the other person doesn't want, that is very much unprofessional in nature. However, if your colleague asks for help, please do not hesitate. You can just do it as per your availability, your concern. Okay. So then comes ethical relationship with parents. Teachers and parents are very much influence components in students' life. Student listens to the parents, they also listen to the teachers. But I think so they listen to the teachers more than the parents. Sometimes when students are very small, I used to see that a small child of LKG or UKG, they will be listening to the teachers more than the parents. Right? So proper and periodic communication should be there between parents and teachers. If the parents wants, yes. So that parents will also be helping their own ward to get along with the school norms and all. Now, sometimes the teacher should always be in contact with the students' parents and keep them updated with the child's progress at school, especially when the child is weak in studies. Fine? The student parents should be informed about it. However, revealing confidential information about the student is not ethical again, unless the law requires it, unless the parents are interested to it. There has been issues where there's a counselor, there was a counselor in the school, and the counselor came to know that the student is not keeping well. And some of the things that student has already mentioned to the counselor. We all have ethical norms and boundaries. Now, when the parents were called and the parents came to know that some of the issues from the family is being discussed, the very moment they came to their house, they just started, you know, hitting the child like anything. So that is what we say. The confidentiality, that is moral, ethical things, has to be maintained and it can be spoken if it is needed to be so. Right? Now, here another example comes into the picture. You contact the parents of a child who is not doing well in his or her studies, because usually parent teachers meeting also comes across. Then you go to their home to have a professional meeting with them. I don't think so. This is good. After the meeting, they offer you a gift as a token of gratitude. You accept it. You have accepted. After a few more meetings with them, the frequency of the gifts increases. So some of the gifts are expensive. Now the parents are demanding a favor from you to promote their child to the next class. Even though the child fails, what will you do? So when we go to the unethical practices, we are the victims. So when one starts accepting the gifts one by one, then there is no other go where we can ethically follow our profession. Accepting or giving gifts may seem acceptable to some extent, but as a teaching professional, you must know where to stop. So in the teacher's day, students come and give you gifts, some cards and all this because they love their teacher. It's okay once in a while. But accepting it very often will put your prestige, your personality down in front of them. Right? You're not teaching in a proper way to the students. Now, ethical relationship with the community and other stakeholders. Yes, there are communities, there are students, there are other people, those who have other employees, those who work over there in an institution or in an organization. So, what a sincere teacher should be aware of the need of the community, when it is to be done and when not. A class teacher also is aware of the community. A subject teacher should be also aware of it. Now, every community consists of unique culture, beliefs, traditional, and everyone we need to understand and respect and preserve them. Now, again, we talk about the promoting of pluralism inclusion. Pluralism inclusion is equal participation of every section of society. This will help for the community flourishment, for the stakeholders who are depending on us. So we are giving a proper and positive ethical guidelines to everyone, right? So that was professional values and ethical practices. Those were the topics or concepts where you have to understand your own self. Some of the topics were discussed. Now comes the next topic, which is managing your own self. Where do you need to manage your own self? So, one of the major managing self is conflicts. Conflicts are seen everywhere. Somewhere it is not spoken, or somewhere it is hidden, or somewhere it is suppressed. So, when you focus on your own self, you can manage your own self to lead a meaningful professional life. So, everywhere, even in the family, we have conflicts, even in the peer group, we have conflicts, even in the professional life, we have conflicts. So, if the conflicts are there, how are the conflicts going to be resolved? What type of conflicts are there? Why the conflicts are raised? We will discuss all these things today. Okay? Managing conflict will help you understand the basic concept of conflict. You know, so there are different sources and types of conflict. We will undergo all these things in this unit. Now, suppose a person is very angry. If I say, why you are angry, then only the anger will come down, thinking that I need to know why I am angry. So the diversion of the things takes place. So in managing conflict, what we need to understand, the conflicts taking place in different situation, different circumstances, different environments. Okay, these are all the things which are seen in conflicts, right? See, there are different situations. Student conflict situation. How come? So there are two people, Tanvi and Parul, study in 7th grade. You can just see in your class also, after hearing all this, in a residential school. And they have been competing with each other. Usually the students do not compete, the parents compete. The parents say that, okay, why she is getting more marks, why he is getting more marks, what is that she is going and talking to the teacher, why don't you talk? So this also comes up. Fine. It's not parent, but here we are seeing the student. Tanvi has formed a group with few of her classmates to point out shortcomings of Parul and make fun of her in front of others, including their classmates, students of other classes, teachers, dormitory, dining hall, and even the playground corridors. You see what type of conflict they have just because one is getting good marks, the person is in a competitive stage, the conflict takes place. Now, student conflict is understood. Why does the student teacher conflict takes place? What type of situation may arise over there? Rakshit is a student of grade 9. and is considered as a non-serious student. He just comes and sleeps in the class or looks here and there. Shamal Kumar, a young and enthusiastic chemistry teacher, has joined and noticed Rakshit not paying attention in the class. I think so. One or two people will be like Rakshit in your classes. Yeah. So he called Rakshit aside, and on inquiring, he learned from the boy that it does not matter if he pays attention or not. Very casual person. Samuel gets to know that the boy doesn't think that he is a non-serious towards his studies, but it is the making of another teacher. Rakshit believed that his mathematics teacher, who is teaching him from grade 8 onwards, does not like Rakshit at all and has told other teachers that Rakshit does not attend the classes seriously. And so everyone in the school considers him so. See, one teacher, if the teacher says you do not attend the class seriously, some students will be taking it very seriously also. Okay, I don't attend classes. So what? So they take it very lightly and very casually over there. Okay. See, this is how the student teacher conflict. The teacher now who is teaching is not the person who told, but the teacher who was teaching in 8th grade has told that you do not attend the classes properly. Something would have he would have spoken. So that student is carrying the same thing and he's very casual in all the teachers. But it has been seen by one of the young teacher and he noticed this. So this is how the teacher comes to know how the conflict between student teacher may take place. Have to be careful there. Now teacher conflict. Obviously that also happens. So one of the enthusiastic teacher who always I think so they enthusiastic teacher maybe they are very much over responsible I guess. So joined a residential school with high expectation, you see, from self. She initiates the work, takes responsibility, and puts in 10 to 12 hours of hard work every day. In the staff room, another teacher says her to slow down. So Sunita often ends up doing all work whenever she has to work in a team, as other members of the team do not do or delay the work. So sometimes when we do not do work and another person do the work always and gets a name out of it, there comes the conflict between teacher and teacher, right? So some teachers, some people, I am not saying everyone, some people maybe because of some situations they are not able to be active for a day or two, or else they are always. So that becomes a conflict among themselves, right? So I am a person, I do not blame anything, but maybe I blame the situation which makes the person to act accordingly. Now, everyone is involved with conflicts, not on conflicts and noticeable. That's what I was telling you. All are having some of the other conflicts in our mind. Some are noticeable, some are not. So, when a person comes and tells, then only we come to know that yes, there is some conflict over here. So, some people share by that person or they attempt to know that okay through the behavior and all. Hmm? So this is how. Excuse me, I'll just drink some water. Okay. Now, if we think of it, then we can just say conflicts arises why. Usually, when we talk about stress or overthinking or any type of negative things coming up like conflicts, anger, you know, frustration, irritation, whatever comes out, this is all because of our thoughts, ideas, beliefs, attitudes. And this only makes us differ from one another. Conflicts are also like the same. Two people may not like each other because of their different thought patterns, right? So sometimes the situation also, any situation in which people involved have incompatible goals. So one will be finding out some other goals, the other person will be saying some other goals. So there comes a conflict again, right? So the emotions, maybe one person is very much emotionally strong, another one is emotionally weak. There comes a conflict. So there are different type of factors where conflict arises, but basically our thoughts and beliefs, attitudes and all raises conflicts because we do not try to understand the explanation over there, and we try to argue over there. We think we are the ones who is telling the right thing. That is where the conflict arises. So to check for once, are you all there? Am I audible and visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, because I was thinking, okay, uh, fine. Conflict may lead to disagreement, argument, as I was saying. If there is a conflict, suppose we both friends were there and we had a conflict, so we will not talk to each other, okay, and we will just try to harm each other because I don't like the person. So there are so many things which may arise. So in professional life, in workplace, this will be affecting our quality of production. We cannot increase our productivity because of the conflict. Suppose I have a conflict with another person who is the academic coordinator or the timetable coordinator or something. So, so many classes are being given. So, since I have a conflict, I cannot go and talk to the timetable coordinator to say that please change my, class from this hour to that hour. So many things may happen because of the conflict. So, this is how it may lead us to. So, what might be the causes of conflict? So, as I was saying, there are differences in goals. So I have a goal, he has a goal. So there may be two maths teacher or two chemistry teacher, or one among them is superior and he or she thinks that no, whatever I say is to be taken. Usually in projects and all, if you go for a project and if you feel that the person who is dominating is getting the things done and no one is listening to you as a teacher also, so there comes another conflict there. So here what we say is it is due to differences in the desired end states or preferred outcomes, and the differences are rigidly incompatible, then only there is a conflict. So the goals, two groups of students wish to celebrate the annual day in school. So one will say this date to that date, another will go with another dates, or someone will say that there will be first the song or dance or anything. So small, small goals, whatever you try to say is not at all accepted by another group. Right? You can also think of your own department or your friends and all, how conflict may take place. Even some events are going to take place, that also conflict may arise where the PE teachers takes place more, takes the importance of the events and all. Next may be differences in cognitive processing. Cognitive itself is thought, it is intelligence, it's ideas, creativities. All this comes under cognitive. So, due to the differences in thoughts, perspectives, and ideas, there comes the rigidity in one's views. So, one may say that I'm senior, I have this many years of experiences, and you people have to do whatever I say. So, thought processes is always creating a conflict among all of us. So the ideas are not taken. Like when you remember, when you recall the leadership styles. So in that, I can understand which type of leadership will be really helpful. Almost many are positive in nature, but autocratic and all, they are somewhat negative because I want to do the things to be done. So might be some thought processes may create conflict about the different situations and the thoughts taken care of. But emotional conflicts also is seen. It is not visualized, but we keep it within ourselves. Like sometimes we express it in a different way where it hurts the other person or it affects the other person. So, like affective expression is basically the feelings and emotions, the internal and external exposure. Feelings are always internal and emotions are external. So, there are expressions, the way we feel as well as the way we express our emotions are different from one another. And again, we can go with the situation. As I always say, the situation is the cause always, not the people. Now, for example, on knowing that you have been selected for an award by the school, you may feel very happy and satisfied and express the same by celebrating it with your colleagues. While another colleague in the same situation does not agree to celebrating it and therefore terms your expression as happiness as showing off. So sometimes it happens that he's showing off much than what is to be done, or she is showing off much. That is always okay. I was also awarded last year, so nothing to be so happy or so emotionally so much expressive outside. So there are different personalities. Why this happens? Because some personalities are very much introverts, some personalities are extroverts. Suppose two people gets an award of this type. One people will be very much quiet and he or she will be happy within. Whereas another person who is extrovert in nature, they will be coming out with flying colors and jumping and saying that I have done it. So there are different people of different expressions where the conflict may arise. That is what I have given as example. It's just showing off too much. It's nothing to show that yeah, he or she maybe she has got the award for the first time or he has got the award for the first time. So they are just acting it out, right? So this may raise the conflict, and if that type of words and conversation takes place, obviously it is going to hurt the other person who was very happy in his or her feelings and emotions. They will just say that why is this person at the back of me in this way? I'm just showing my happiness, nothing else. So no one will be able to understand the other's point of view. That is what empathetical attitude will not be seen in people, right? See, if we have time and if you are interested, you can just check your on this. This is a questionnaire which shows that where do you see yourself. So there is a point also. Even there are scoring patterns. We'll see afterwards. Since I felt that conflicts arises with people and how much we fall into the conflicts. That's what the questioner speaks, but we'll see later. Now, conflicts as sources. They may be the causes, but what are the conflicts as sources speaks? Conflict can arise because of both personal and organizational sources. So personal sources will be basically our family, our relationship, our own bothering things which takes place beyond professional. Organizational sources may also take place depending on our job related activities. Now, personal sources of conflicts are personality differences, perception, how I see the product as, how I see the situation as, what I expect, okay, or what values I give, on how am I motivated, or what type of interest I have. Different things comes to be the personal sources. So, personal sources does not give any importance to the organization over there, and organizational sources of conflicts may arise due to organizational structure and process, like goal incompatibility. There may be 10 to 12 teachers in a department, but the goals are not taken care properly. As uncertainty or job insecurities. Or uncertainty or jobs insecurities, like you all know about COVID time, right? How it was. It was mostly like this. how I am here and you people are there. So uncertainty was very much, and job insecurities are there. There are organizations where, in corporates and all, where it is seen very much uncertainty or job insecurities are there. Resource scarcity. You are asked to do something, but you do not see the resources in the organization. How are you going to do? You may say that this person is just asking me, demanding me to do all these things, but he does not give me any resource to do it. So there becomes a conflict again. So there comes where people have to compete for their shares of resources, reward systems, and the interdependence. So there are so many conflicts which may arise in the organization itself. Like when we work in an organization, we feel that the conflicts arises internally or externally also. So internally we just keep it within ourselves, we suppress, but sometimes we need to express it out for a clarification. So when you get a clarification, when you get it verified, when you get it explained properly, there is no conflict at all, right? Why do people get conflicts? So you just think of any day where you had a conflict with another person because of personality differences. As I was telling, so some people will be introverts, some people will be extroverts. So no two people are same. Even no two twins are same, we can say. Even fraternal twins are never same. Even identical twins, if they are set aside, they have their own thoughts. So some people may be easily adapting to situations, some people may not be adapting easily. So some people will be having difficulties to talk to people. You can see in the staff room there are people those who keep quiet, they do their work and they go. But there are people those who speak and speak and speak, right? So there are different personalities where we see people around. Perceptions, yes, different family backgrounds. A person from lower socioeconomic status or higher or middle, whatever it is, a person from a rural or urban background, a person from joint or neutral family. Okay, so different people will be having different perception as per their childhood, as per their adulthood, as per the profession they are undergoing. So, different experiences, education, and training result in individuals developing perception will be developing conflicts also. So it is an interpersonal conflicts. When you see in the family also, there are conflicts. Even when two children will be seeing a TV, one wants to see something, another wants to see something because the perception, the whatever they feel it is good, they will be going for it. So it's the same as in the workplace also. Values and interest is very much there. So our values differ from others, our interest differs from others also. So when we have different interests and different value system, that may cause conflict. Power and status, obviously, because when we are in a quarter, usually if it is in a residential area, we are in a quarter, and the residential school is very far from the town and all, and one of the others started getting a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler or something. So it depends upon the power or the designation or the position where they are there and the status they maintain, that also conflict may arise. It is internal almost. Scarcity of resources, as I told, yes. If there are three individuals in a school who are all eligible for a senior position by their qualification as well as years of experience, whom will you give for that one position? There's a conflict again, right? Even for sports, the PE teachers also find it difficult when one is not taken and the other is kept out. Even in quiz competition also, many parents also have come to know that why my child is not taken, that other child is given, why my children a child is having all these things. So scarcity of resources and other type of thought processes, you know, there are people like they grow up with their own interest, they do not give value to the others. So all this conflicts comes one by one into the interest patterns again, right? Now here, check with the type of conflicts that you face in your day-to-day life and why. So sometimes we may think that the conflict arises because of this, the conflict may arise because of that. So you can just go back to the rest few days back and you can see, did you have any conflicts? With whom did you have conflicts? And what was the result of it? Did you overcome it, or were you stuck over there? So I'll just go to one or two slides again and we'll finish up. Now there are types of conflicts. So when people with different personalities, perception, background, socioeconomic status, interests, goals, they all work together. Don't you think there will be conflicts? There will be so much of conflicts among them. And there will be there is a probability of disagreement. Now, sometimes intrapersonal conflict, within the self, the conflict arises. Suppose you got a job in 2 to 3 areas. Which place you will be satisfied? You're satisfied with all the three jobs, but you do not know where to go and what to do. That is within us. Even when you have so many projects to do, which you like everything, or you have something, so many things to eat. So it is among us the conflicts arises sometimes. Interpersonal conflict that's always there within with others. So it is our perception, our interest, our goal, everything comes together when we go with the interpersonal. The same like within a group. Suppose there are two groups, maybe they are going for an event or annual performance, or you know some promotion or something which goes on. There will be conflicts in the interpersonal group. Like intra group, there are conflicts again, because if there are all teachers who are senior in nature and they wanted to put their words to be done, obviously there will be different type of conflicts of there. And then comes intergroup conflicts. Obviously the intergroup conflicts are more because they will be having some negative outcomes between each other. Obviously the conflicts will be seeing for the next class. Intra-organizational, within the organization. Just think of beyond organization. Within the organization, there will be like maybe sometimes we see that there are some bias factors taking place. There are some type of, individuals who feel that they are getting more priorities than anyone else. So that also takes place. And there are people, like as I have discussed in the example, like they want to work hard day and night to show that yes, they are the only ones who are working a lot. So all these things comes across to be conflicts. Moreover, as teachers, what we can do is if we see any conflicts between students and all, we need to just stand and sort it out by listening to all of them. So conflicts arises with many type of sources. There are so many types of conflicts again, but we will be discussing in detail tomorrow. Right?
Thank
Yes.
you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you so
madam.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you. So I did not
Thank you,
want to
madam.
take
Thank you.
much time of yours. So I thought, okay, fine, let me just talk with some examples, because I believe more on practical rather than theoretical. As I'm a psychologist in an university, more practical things are seen.
Correct.
Can anyone say any conflict which takes place between teachers? Yes, no conflicts? Okay.
Actually, madam, in our system,
Mm-hmm.
we are different in our views, but we are not
Okay.
different in our heart or working
Oh,
style,
good,
madam.
good. Very nice, very nice. So when you say your viewpoint, the others also give an ear to listen to you, right?
Yes, yes.
Very nice. That is where the students, residential students from your students are really very much pious and disciplined in nature. That is really good. So in the conflicts and all, like I'll just discuss one more point. Like, can anyone say the leadership style, which one they you have chosen? If you are the principal of an institution, what type of leadership style will you be choosing? Can anyone share their viewpoint?
मैम डेमोक्रेटिक व्यू।
Okay, why is it so? Because we are in a democratic country. Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
मैम सभी की बातों को सुनना चाहिए और सभी के जो विचार हैं उनसे हमें समझना चाहिए और सभी के हिसाब से काम करना चाहिए। ये नहीं कि अपनी-अपनी ही चलाते रहें।
हम्म, सही बात, सही बात. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing. Thank you so
ओके।
much. Senapati sir, would you like to say?
Actually, madam, in one lesson we have also informed that there is also authoritarian and autocratic
Okay, yes,
rather than democratic also. But sometimes also some principals are also um,
true.
controlling the situation as per their not views. But
Uh-huh.
sometimes it should be, I think, autocratic decision should be taken
Sometimes it is needed.
as per the NVS guidelines.
Okay,
If
okay.
you will listen everybody's views, then automatically, madam, views will be different from person to person. So it
Wow.
is impossible for a principal to handle the situation.
Hmm.
Actually, in our organization, actually all the decisions taken in the headquarters, and
Okay.
whatever the decision is taken in that place,
Mm-hmm.
and no doubt they are thinking so much. And some experts and expertise, and also very important is their experience is also there.
True.
They have seen the so much scenario of the Navodaya system. So
Okay.
whatever the decisions they are giving to us, no doubt
Mm-hmm.
it must be reasonable and it should be also taken care of.
Fine. So you're going to a leadership style. You listen to people, but take decision
Ye-
according to the situation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, I had so many Navodaya students also when I was in Orissa, Berhampur Mist. So very much disciplined, very nice. So I could see the teachers also. So thank you so much.
Madam, just
Yeah.
madam, one thing, just I should know that, madam, what you are doing now, madam. In
Okay.
which institute you are teaching?
I am in VIT, Vellore
VIT.
Institute of
Okay.
Technology. Yes. So
Uh-huh.
I am the HOD of counseling department. Yes, that's what I could share more of practical viewpoints than the theoretical
Yes,
parts.
yes, ma'am.
So I believe it will be easy to understand rather than any theories bringing into the picture.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you so much. Thank you all. So we'll be meeting tomorrow
Thank you, madam.
again with some other examples and some other viewpoints. So
Thank you, madam.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
तार लगे पैसा है ही नहीं।
अरे पैसा कम बा, ई खेल खेलता लोग, गेम खेलता।